Alright my friends, welcome back to Garry's Mod and the conclusion to Spooktober, aka the spookiness that is October. It's been a really awesome month and I've uploaded more videos this month than I have in a very long time, which is good news for the future, but today I want to take a different approach. First things first guys, happy Halloween for sure. I want to show you guys these 3 maps that I adore, and we're going to go through these very quickly so we don't waste too much time. But the first map we have is called Paranoia. You start out in this desolate room, but once you go out, you'll discover a weird hallway. You'll notice a host of weird sounds as well as a creepy broken down elevator. Going down the elevator, you'll find you have access to a whole new floor. And down here, you'll be able to press a button that does something very interesting. Suddenly, we are now within a cabin. But not only are we in a cabin, we're in a cabin in a swamp. Things start to feel very weird as you see dead bodies around the water. Going inside the building, you'll be greeted with some lovely head crabs that want to couple with your beautiful face. Eventually you'll discover that you can go through the bottom panels and you'll find a secret laboratory that also goes into, well, this. Going into the rabbit hole, you'll find that things start to get a little bit weird. Going inside the door, we have a lone chair. And past that chair, we have, well, something that I could only think of belongs in the movie Inception. Guys, logic has been thrown out the window, and now things are starting to really fall apart. You might notice this from a very famous painting, and well, it's represented pretty well here. Thankfully though, not all is lost as we're able to go within this next room that leads into this subway room. Suddenly, you're attacked by Combine units, so you have to quickly make your way through until you finally arrive at the train. You'll have to be quick with this one, guys, but once you go through the train tracks, you'll find that you have once again teleported into a very strange land. And now, we are in an asylum. You'll notice the map jumps from different themes very often, and all 3 of these maps tend to do the same thing. Going through that crazy door, you end up in a padded room, which makes you start to think, are you just crazy? Are you in this crazy asylum that they threw you in because you simply couldn't bear to accept reality? It's hard to tell you, but yeah, doors aren't supposed to float away from you. Everything that you know is suddenly breaking apart at the seams, and we are now left with very few options. Once you activate the switch, you're able to return back to the subway, go down the steps, and finally make your getaway. And that, my friends, is the end of Paranoia. There's obviously a bit more to it. I just kind of skimmed through it just so I didn't have to waste your guys' time because we have 2 more maps to take a look at. Next up is Insomnia. Alright, my friends, we are now in Insomnia, the sequel to the map Paranoia. Another abstract map, of course. You can see we continue where we left off on the train into this very strange station. I don't even know if I would call it a station, it just kind of looks all distorted. Going through the door, you'll find a very industrial style room. And of course, we have the missing floor once again. Suddenly, things are starting to really look weird. Trees growing inside houses. Also, we have bricked up doorways with portals in them. Portals that take you to very strange places. The geometry of this place is, well, it's not quite the standard type of room you'd imagine. Looking up, you'll notice the rain from a beautiful cityscape that is simply beyond your reach. Delving deeper into the rabbit hole, we have a very small grate that you can just barely fit through that leads into this strange energy beam. Crossing the energy beam leads you to this very green-looking room with toxic floor. And here we have an interesting room that leads you to one of 3 choices. We have the red, which, well, I'll let you guys experience that for yourselves. We also have the green and the blue room. Going inside the blue room leads us straight back to the acidic room. But the green room leads us to something entirely different. We are now in what seems to be a laboratory, not too different from the one from the last map, but you'll notice that entering different rooms, all logic gets thrown out the window. And it gets worse as you progress through. Trains are on tracks that are completely vertical. You'll notice that entering the next room, you'll have some buddies, so you're not alone. You also have to face off against quite a few Combine units, but once you do decide to take them all out, you'll find that you'll have to locate specific batteries. Once you've located and placed all 3 batteries in their corresponding areas, the doorway will open up to you. And coming through this doorway, you'll find a seemingly normal street with a train crossing through. Once you cross the street, you'll find a load of Combine units as well as this very strange fountain and this house. Going through the doorway next to the house, you will find that, well, the nightmare is not over. Suddenly, things are making even less sense. We have an upside down tree, we have an acidic, well, usually floor, but is now a door entry. We have a doorway that leads into a space that seems far away at first, but you'll start to realize that it is only tiny. Perception is something that can be easily confused and tricked, and this is definitely one of those cases. We now have a doorway with fire on the other end, stone, a car that somehow got into its position. As you cut through the small corridors, you'll find very odd rooms like this hypercube room, and this very mysterious light that travels through the hallways. Also, we have this room. TVs hung up. I have no clue what to think. But going up, you'll find another one of those very mysterious doors, seemingly floating in limbo. As we progress up the stairs, guys, you'll start to notice even more strange rooms, and fiery pits are becoming far more common. As you reach the top floor, you'll find 3 pathways, with only one being green, and a vortigaunt that is cleaning the area. Going through the green, you'll find you have been returned to a place that you know before, but now the door has opened. Objects will be floating around all over you. The world is breaking apart more and more as we go forward. The floor starts to fall apart the second you enter this room, and things are not looking good. Unfortunately, we are doomed to face our fate. But no need to worry, because once you hit the bottom, you'll notice you have returned to the padded room, and suddenly everything is upside down. Going through a few doorways, you'll notice the hallway has returned with the missing tiles, as well as a bunch of different rooms that lead to a bunch of different areas. Falling down into this room that leads into another corridor. Thankfully, the water will break your fall. But now we face the ultimate divinity, the doorway of light. Passing through, the door closes behind you, and the map ends. My friends, we have arrived at the Ultimatum, the final map, Hypnophobia, in the 3 abstract map series. You can see the white light where we came from, and now we must traverse forward. Going through the first door, you are entered into a seemingly normal room despite that crazy wall. We also have a pit of death, which is supposed to kill you. What mysteries hide within this map? We shall find out. First things first, we have that very strange acid doorway. We also have this interesting room with pictures and an upside down tree and whatever this thing is. You'll start to notice very strange objects floating in midair, seemingly unaided. But going forward, and suddenly everything changes to a different tone. We have a strange floating diamond, as well as a full red room with a dead rebel. Going into the next room, we notice barnacles hanging from the ceiling, as well as a Combine themed room. Going down below, we have cars on the ceiling, head crabs jumping out of acidic pools, a strange TV with chairs gathering around. And now we have entered a very strange place indeed. We have cars floating in limbo. We have jets of steam. Someone left the stove on, because we have a fire. Once again, my friends, logic does not play a part in this map. We have very strange levers that seem to activate something. Activating all the levers progresses you into the next room, which has a series of portal doorways. I'll let you guys guess which ones you should go through, but I have a feeling they're not all very good. And there's one particular type of door you don't want to go through. Once you discover the puzzle you have to solve and activate all 3 switches, you'll notice 3 lasers joining into one singular spot. And entering this laser will take you to another area. An area that has a floating bathtub, a chair, and a toilet with some purple energy going through it. Going through a portal takes you into this very weird playground. Dropping down into this room, you'll notice this horrible version of me being tortured. You guys wanted to know what I did in my off time? This is where I'm hanging at. All jokes aside, this definitely makes very little sense. And I believe we are trapped. You'll have to be very keen to get through that puzzle, but once you do, you'll arrive at this rooftop. Going through there is another portal that takes you into another room that leads into this very open area. But again, buildings are being pulled into the abyss. Portals are everywhere, and you'll arrive, once you climb this elevator, into the ultimate and final area. Once you activate the button, Combine units will start flooding from both sides, and you'll have to have one final standoff. My friends, after surviving the Combine's onslaught, you are now free to take a dive. And entering this very strange void will be the ultimate end. And that, my friends, are the 3 abstract maps in Garry's mod by Shadgrimgrvy. Thank you so much, man, for making an amazing series of maps. Guys, I wanted to showcase this for Halloween because these are 3 of my favorite maps in Garry's mod, and I don't really think I've really shown them all to you in this way. And even if I have, I wanted to do an updated version on it anyway, just to kind of commemorate and really remember these amazing maps. Check these 3 maps out, guys. Have a happy Halloween. I hope you guys have a great day, and seriously, thanks for watching this video to the absolute end. If you did like it, leave a like down below and subscribe to see more videos just like this. Also, leave suggestions down below to let me know what you want to see in the next video. All the links will be in the description as always. You guys are awesome, and until next time, my friends, farewell. And if you want to check out the last video I did, click on the video to the left, and the video on the right will be a random video on my channel. Happy Halloween, guys, and until next time.